I'm going to 112% Hollow Knight. This includes getting every upgrade, beating bosses, and completing the story alongside Grim Troop's quest and Pantheon of the Night.
I'm Batman.
Okay, maybe not, but this glowing spot does say I'm a higher being that can collect souls from enemies, which I can use to heal myself with.
Perfect pose.
My journey through Hallownest Kingdom begins in the fading town called Dirtmouth. The Elder Bug tells me that the residents have disappeared, and that the kingdom is full of monsters and madness. It can't be that bad. You got a nice bench. My extra lives? This place is vile. Well, down the well I go anyway. There's nothing too threatening down here in the Forgotten Crossroads. Just gotta be my own pest control. There's a Temple of the Black Egg, a friendly roly-poly named Quirrell, and a not-so-friendly big fella that tried to crush me with his club. Now, the only reason I struggled with this early fight is because, I kid you not, I was on hold with the IRS for over an hour, and then mid-battle, they decided to finally answer over speakerphone and I got thrown off. I swear, I'm not Yoshi. Then, like Peter Pan, I had to capture my escaped shadow to get all my money back. Shortly after, the rematch with the big bug commenced, and I didn't take a single scratch from him this time. A baby grub was being held prisoner. I'm gonna name it Caterpie. Hello, little one. Hello? Nothing? On to the next neighbor, I guess. I come across Mila, the bug miner, who sounds like a cheerful person, but look at the lyrics she's singing about burying her whole dead family. It's one of my favorites. Okay, creepy. I'm getting out of here. Come on, floor, break. Why won't you break? I'll go somewhere else then. Another trapped Caterpie. I'll save you.
No, it can't be true. I could fly if I wanted to.
Nope.
Down the depths I continue while I run into an insect with defenses too strong to penetrate, a humming cartographer named Cornifer who sells me a map detailing the paths of the crossroads, and find a stag, aka the fast-traveling method of this game. Before I knew it, I was already back in Dirtmouth, and would you look at that, a store opened up by none other than Cornifer's wife, Izelda. I bought a compass from her to better traverse Hallownest, which pinpoints my location. Now to kill some baby bugs. And you must be the mom. Wake up and fight me.
Pikachu, use headbutt!
Yeah, that's all she does. Maybe this mother has postpartum depression if she's willing to bang herself around like that.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
It didn't. She's dead. What the heck? She was pregnant? She could have given them shaken baby syndrome. Whatever, I'll check out these huts below her lair. Hey, Mr. Fly, you smoking something orange?
Snap out of it!
Oh, what? Who are you? Get back to life. Maybe open a restaurant. I'll buy something. At least that little guy hadn't gone savage like the others in the crossroads. Afterwards, I pulled out my map and noticed a boss-looking icon. So I went over there and was confronted by the false knight. The man cornered me, slamming down his mace. Again? I'm not gonna fall for it twice in a row. I'll slash you up for that. The Hallownest Cavalier went down, then revealed its true form, a pathetic white maggot. After a few hits, he withdrew back into his armor and went at me again. Foolishly, I thought I would be able to strike him down again in seconds, but was smacked by his weapon as he threw a tantrum with it. I attempted to recover my health, but was thwarted by the Chevalier. He even created shockwaves that chased me down. Alright, I need to be smarter about my healing, so I can get rid of this guy. Striking his white body provides me with the soul I need to heal. Yet I continue to recover during the worst of times. Twice! I've had enough of this. Was I crazy to do this right away? No, back to one life. I just need a little more there.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
It was over. Looked like he was affected by the orange aroma as well. I picked up the city crest key he dropped, then pressed forward to the home of a nearby shaman. The snail conjured up a spell, gifting me the power of Vengeful Spirit. Instead of using my soul to heal, this spell fires long-distance magic that can defeat those vermin with the defensive armor. Oh, and I got the Soul Catcher charm, which increases the amount of soul gained. By the way, the game only lets you equip charms at benches for whatever reason. The journey continued with saving a Caterpie, heading back to the surface, and buying out everything from Izelda's store. Seriously, I bought everything she was selling. Another lit up building? Who could be inside? Ah, Sly, what's up, man? Oh, shoot, you're selling stuff too?
You make me change restaurant, but nobody come. But where are people? You see people? Show me people. There are no people!
For real though, I could have used that light he was selling. Little did I know my broke wallet would get a quick fix. I found the Caterpies. They showed their gratitude by showering me with Geo, the money of this world. Something else was on my mind though. I went back to kill the armadillo-like bug, which opened the way to Greenpath, the lush area west of the crossroads. I'm greeted by a moss-like creature that really acts like a drama queen during its death. There's acidic water, little bushlings, and little flocklings that fly away when approached. Die! Silksong? Hey, Cornifer, you got a map for down here? Maybe I'll discover the release date for the sequel. Silksong? While waiting for its release, I play volley with a plant, find what I believe to be a temple, which was too dark to traverse. But I do find a way over the acid. Thanks, buddy. Now I'll just peacefully— holy crap! It's coming from behind me now! Get out of here! Jeez, I need a breather. What? I can't get to the bench? I need to pay for the bench. What a weird tax system. Probably a law implemented by someone like this old timer. Don't you think sword swinging is bad for your back?
Step aside, string bean. I'll show you. I'm gonna take it up a notch. Back.
Yeah, dude is a little slow. As I continued upwards, I found myself back at the crossroads, and apparently there's another Hollow Knight. I freed him from the predator, then slayed the beast with a few slashes. The knight's name is Zote, and he didn't appreciate being rescued.
Mr. Sandsweet didn't ask to be saved. Mr. Sandsweet didn't want to be saved. And the injury received from Mr. Incredible's actions, so-called, causes him daily pain.
Hey, I saved your life!
You didn't save my life, you ruined my death. That's what the—
Listen,
my client has no
little
further
piece.
comment at this time.
Silksong? Announced in 2019? It's gotta be released soon. I've seen you creeping through the undergrowth, stalking me. I mean no trouble. I just want to play your game. She ain't having it though and initiates a fight. Her name is revealed to be Hornet, and she must think I've been possessed by the orange disease that has affected the other insects. She wields a needle which outranges my small nail. She can also surround herself with thread and likes to dash attack too. Knowing all of her tricks now, I attack right after dodging her lunges. When she hurls her needle, I take that opportunity to get away and heal a quick life. A couple minutes later, prove my resolve. Then she swings off like Spider-Man.
See you, chump.
Could she have possibly killed this knight before I came? From the corpse, I take the Mothwing Cloak, which enables the dashing ability. All of a sudden, the earth shakes and a voice pleads to be kept asleep. 3 angelic beings then appear and cover me with essence. A moment later, I awoke and got the heck out of there. At this time, there wasn't much else I could do in Greenpath, so I checked out some new places. Thought I came across treasure, but instead fell into a pit with 2 of those armored pillbugs. Needless to say, I wasn't ready. Eventually, I came back with my vessel full of soul, spammed vengeful spirits to the one on the right, then slayed roly-polies to reload my soul in order to smother the one on the left as well. Boulder Shell Charm obtained. Now I can protect myself while healing. Back to Greenpath, I went to make sure I did everything I could. Turns out I missed some stuff like this thorn charm and a boss encounter, that being an even bigger bushy monster.
Burrowed underground!
Nothing to worry about here, just jump and attack. Jump and attack. Jump and— ooh, there we go. That's better. Death be upon you, mass moss charger. 4 pilots. Scram! Now what new environment awaits me below? Fog Canyon, the land of levitating electrical jellyfishes. Do not touch. Enough with the hydrozoans. Instead, hello Queen Station, hello Giraffe Bug, and hello New Stag Station. It was a short visit since I had already stumbled into a new region called the Fungal Wastes. Any mushroom enemies? No? Just the bouncy ones? Hey Cornifer, hook me up. Gracias. Ah, there is a mushroom here. Jeez, a little feisty. I thought you were supposed to be a fun guy. Jokes aside, I ran into a couple more toadstools that were suffering from food poisoning. An additional charm notch? Nice. All right, who else lives around here? A leg eater? And you're making me pay you to open up shop? Get lost. Actually, Fragile Greed does sound like a great geo-earning investment. Just gotta be careful because it will break if I die with it. As I delved further down the fungal wastes, I met a friendly wanderer named Cloth. She informed me that if I kept going in this direction, I would eventually step foot in Mantis territory. These foreigners were not to be underestimated. I'm gonna die if they keep swarming me like this. A bench is just up ahead. I'm saved. I'm going to live. No! Man, look how close to the bench I was. At least I got my money back. Despite that unfortunate event, I entered the Mantis village and made sure to outplay them this time. I kept applying pressure, but still got overwhelmed when surrounded by multiple of them. I checked every nook and cranny of their quarters and stole a Mantis claw, strengthening my legs to wall jump. A little more exploring later got me the Dashmaster charm. What awaited below the village were 3 larger mantises that offered up some sort of challenge. However, I'ma blow all of my money first. I ain't gonna risk losing my geo inside that unwelcoming village. On my way back, I came across the Spore charm, stumbled upon a mask piece, then took on the challenge. Well, it was a good thing that I spent all of my geo. I didn't know what to expect from this battle, and there didn't seem to be an end in sight 2 minutes into it. My nail and thorn charm damage wasn't cutting it, which led to my eventual demise. After being revived, Query suggests I visit a city nearby where a nailsmith resides who can sharpen my nail. How nearby exactly?
Wow. I guess I'd better get going.
Took just over 4 minutes of travel. Not bad. That bug seriously ended its own life trying to tear off a couple hit points off of me. Anywho, this must be the city Quirrell was talking about. I gazed at the fountain that laid center of the city, pondering this memorial that looks like a bigger me. Silksong? Are you telling me you're releasing in the first half of 2023? She ignores me and instructs me to seek the graven ash, then web slings away.
You're trash, Brock.
Okay, fine. I gotta go see the nailsmith anyways. Pay 250 geo to strengthen nail? I need just a tad bit more moolah. Of course, right when I get enough money, I purchase a map and pay the toll for a bench. Oh, it doesn't end there. Since this is the city, I have to pay to use the elevators as well. Fortunately, it did lead me to my first vessel fragment. Then when I came back to the city and shoot off the creeps, I picked up a stranded simple key. The folks in this city were quite diversified. Like this guy who is some magic wielder. I'm pretty sure it wasn't an official boss since they went down really quick. They were more so an annoyance when I was attempting to climb the soul sanctum of the city. An actual boss was just up ahead, being a soul warrior. A blade wielder that could also cast orange orbs at you. It telegraphs its moves early enough to avoid them. That is, as long as you don't get too greedy with nail slashes like I do. I even felt comfortable enough to finish him off with a vengeful spirit. Little did I know, there would be another awaiting me on the rooftop. The Soul Master. Blindly progressing further without getting that nail upgraded was a really poor choice on my end. So I went to get my geo back, passed by the Spell Twister charm on the way down, and finally got my nail forged. Now I feel ready to take on that fool. He started the match with multiple body slams to the ground, trying to damage me with shockwaves. Then, like the Soul Warrior, the orbs were simple to evade. When surrounding himself with them, I timed my jumps perfectly to poke at him from beneath while maneuvering around his projectiles. He repeated this dance again and again until I had popped his last life as I watched him flail around like a fungoon. Now for my award. Criminy! What happened? Is he gone now? As I journaled this event, the Soul Master surprise attacks me. I pick back up my controller quickly to evade the non-stop body slams.
Couldn't you just stay dead?
He wouldn't let up. What was I supposed to do? Thankfully, he must have needed a breather, and I made sure to send him to his grave this time. Now what is the reward? Desolate dive? Let's try it out. Hulk smash! I should be getting back to the Mantis challenge. But first, there's a place I can sell my relics for more geo. A mechanism I can use the key I got from earlier to open the royal waterways. Then I go back to Sly's shop to purchase everything including 2 mask shards, a vessel fragment, the gathering swarm charm to make sure no geo is left behind, and the stalwart charm for more invincibility frames after taking damage. On my way back through Green Path, I took a detour to revisit the dark sanctuary I couldn't traverse before without the lamp from Sly. My efforts were rewarded with a 4th mask shard that permanently increased my health. With a sharpened blade and an additional piece of life, I felt more than ready to take on the Mantis Lords. I wasn't just hopping and scotching around the Mantis' attacks, I was dancing gracefully by them, squeezing in multiple pokes. A few blunders, sure, but you should have seen the other guy. Alright, number 2, I'm ready for ya. Say what? Number 3 tagged along too?
Now there are 2 of them.
This threw off my groove so bad I was immediately flustered and lost. Next attempt, I cleanly handled the first lady again and had a much better start with the next 2, simply because I knew what to expect. Even Luigi could dodge the boomerangs by doing nothing. I was able to pull off quick scratches between their back-to-back attacks. And I don't know if it was just me, but I felt like the gap between their attacks was growing wider than usual, making the fight easier in my eyes. 2 down, 1 to go. Now I have all the time in the world to heal. To think you still had a chance was delusional. The lords bow to me, resulting in unlocking the following achievement.
Respect.
They grant me passage westward into the Deep Nest. Cornifer, what are you doing hiding over here? Well, I respect your exceptional customer service to provide me with a map of Deep Nest. Up ahead was a traffic jam full of ravenous centipedes that I had to jaywalk my way through. Then there was the Centipede Express. One bad pogo hop with a nail could result in a double whammy death. I was starting to feel my age here. For some reason, I was having trouble inputting the joystick in the right directions when bouncing. I was fumbling. I needed a proper D-pad for this 2D game, but I was stuck with the Pro Controller. All I needed was a leap of faith. Like, what's up, danger? Can't stop me now. Travel 200 miles, I'm knocking at your door, and I don't really care if you ain't done wrong. Come on, what's up, danger? Seriously though, playing 2D games with a joystick is not my forte. Oh hey Cloth, too scared to go in? Leave it to me. This guy doesn't look that tough. A baby? Okay, 2 versus 1, I could handle that. Another one? How many you got inside of you? Anyways, past those vermin, I discovered an abandoned tram. As I trekked further westward, I came across another abandoned tram that had a tram pass inside. If only I could find an operating station to see if the pass works. Deep Nest was only getting creepier with the spiders, dead bugs turning into spiders, more spiders, and pitfalls. It appears I found the actual nest of this deep sector. I entered the den, and am surprised to find villagers rather than a monstrous beast. Greetings. You are very tired. Sit and rest. We are friends. Welcome. Sit and rest. Please, sit and rest. It's warm and safe. Sit and rest. Wow, what a friendly bunch. Hey friends, I think some sticky webbing was left on the bench. Guys? 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 Where am I? I see. Those villagers offered me up as a meal to something. While trying to escape this confinement, I only ran into arachnids I've already encountered. I was expecting a boss battle, but before I knew it, I was back in the room I started in. Hold up a minute. Were my kidnappers eaten? Who cares? I'm getting out of here. Darn those villagers. Thanks to them, I'm hitting the road during rush hour now. It's a good thing I finally found a tram station. Hopefully it can take me back or give me a ride to a new destination. Press the glowing button?
Yes.
First stop led me down a manhole, and there was also an upper entrance that led me to climbing a plethora of shoddy leftover construction back to the City of Tears, giving me the realization I still had a lot of area to uncover here. The Eastern District was called King Station, which was home to another fast travel point. Fitting to have King in the title, there were fancy corridors with desirable items, and it had an elevator that connected to an unknown area with a tram of its own. Its only connecting location was the crossroads, so I persevered in the other direction, finding myself stuck next to this shrine that somehow sealed itself. The tablet reads that 3 dreamers lay sleeping to protect the vessel. It also details their locations, which I add to the map. Go no further, Shadow. 3 spirit beings then appear, who I presume to be the dreamers. With an unknown power, they overwhelm me into whiteness. pleading that I leave them alone. Well, if you wanted my cooperation, maybe you shouldn't have casted me off to some alternate reality. This angelic moth called it a terrible fate. Yeah, see, they feel me. And they're giving me a weapon too? Ah, yeah, let's hunt those dreamers down. I awaken in the home of a seer who confirms that the dreamers were indeed trying to trap me. She continues to explain how the dream nail can access minds, which is the method I'll use to confront the dreamers. Since the sacred blade is dull, the seer encouraged me to return once I had gathered large amounts of essence. One of the ways to harvest essence is from these withered roots. That's already 20 collected. Now to find more along with those dreamers. First, I made a quick pit stop back to Dirtmouth to purchase some quality of life map add-ons. By the way, I nabbed the Dream Shield charm just before Dirtmouth. It's useful, I think. Anyhow, on to the Whispering Roots. I found it odd that they didn't provide essence in factors of 5 or 10. Like, really? You're just gonna leave me hanging with 48? Seems like an odd number, even though it's technically not. While I was retracing my steps to cut down roots, I had a leg eater repair my broken charm and decided to purchase the other two as well. The next apparent stops were the grim locations the tram brought me to: the Ancient Basin and Kingdom's Edge. Is this big fat fly supposed to be a threat? For better or worse, this area has a wide variety of pests, ranging from the bouncy kind to the hefty bouncy kind. These ones are the worst though. I hate them. Sometime later, I finally found a resident, Nail Master Oro. He's got one of those accents that implies he's wiser than the average insect.
To sta jugando.
Teach me thy ways, master. Feels weird that I can do this, but not a standard normal charged slash. Speaking of slashing upgrades, not far from Oro's dwelling was the quick slash charm. Oh, and what the freak is this? Moving on, don't mind me, just casually strolling by suicide bombers. What is so special that they're guarding? Prisoners? This little fool introduces me to the Coliseum of Fools, an arena that offers 3 challenges to prove one's strength. Beneath the stadium is the Warrior's Pit with a bench that I used to swap out charms in exchange for Quick Slash and Thorns. Then I entered the first challenge, the Trial of the Warrior. My first opponent, Purple Guy. I think I now know why it's called the Coliseum of Fools. This swordsman never swings his sword overhead, so I'm safe to attack there all I want. Next up, the same guy, except there's 2 of them. Ah yes, stacked together so I can slay you both at the same time. 2 foes appear once again, and I'm noticing a color theme amongst them. Not much to say about these pillbugs though. They're easy to kill and are a great source of protein to heal with soul when needed. 5 more of them? Come on, I thought this was supposed to be a challenge. The following adversary was a chubby fellow who, unlike the Purple Knights, didn't let me kill him for free above him. He doesn't idly let you stab him overhead either. However, I noticed that when he tossed his crescent-shaped blades, he would throw them in an arc. So why not just strike him on ground level, then space myself from him when he retaliates? I pulled that method more effectively when I had to face 2 of them. The next wave introduced my worst nemesis yet. Whatever these things are. I wasn't kidding earlier when I said I hate them. The way they spat their orange venom didn't gel with my playstyle. For now, it wasn't an issue, thanks to the help of the platforms. But it didn't end there though. Spikes sprung up on the floor, and my jumping patterns began to be exposed. Yet there were only 2 of them again, so I handily neutralized them. Maybe they aren't so bad. These guys again? Been there, done that. Them again? How many more times to exterminate these vermin? And you, why don't you go jump off a cliff?
Okay.
The end has got to be near. This is probably the final boss of this trial. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you ladies and gentle bugs. I'll be here all week. What? Are you kidding me? It's not over?
How long is this going to take?
Oh no, they're back. Get out of my life! Leave me alone! Stop it, please, I beg of you! Oh man, this is getting stressful. Quick, little knight, use recover! Get out of my sight! No, not again! That's enough! My confidence is beginning to wane. I wasn't sure if I could do this anymore on my first try. Unbeknownst to me, the heavens heard my cries, and the trial summoned 3 pillbugs. I capitalized on this moment to steal their souls, which brought my health back up. Oh, thank goodness. Another breather. For real though, is this ever going to end? Things are getting chaotic here with 2 mothers battering themselves around the arena. Fortunately, I had enough HP to be smacked every now and then. And eventually, I came out on top. The crowd goes crazy and throws a large amount of geo at me. I can't believe it's over. I just wasn't expecting it to go that long. Getting a charm notch for it was definitely worth it. To pin an extra charm. I'll be back once I get rid of this money. For now, I'm going down to the Royal Waterways. Grimace, is that you?
It's my birthday. Try my new shake.
Oh, happy birthday, Grimace. I'll try it right now. I'm ready. Mrs. Puff? They're cloning pufferfish down here? What are they scheming? A boat school? Security is tight, so it wouldn't surprise me. They're even trying to hide their benches. Alright, now I'm tilted. Whatever is infecting these insects is straight up cruel and unusual punishment. Take this one for example. Takes a few slices to kill, right?
Wrong.
Half of it is still alive and can fly. Then just when you think it's over, the lower half sneaks up on you. This place is just full of surprises. I wonder what all this white crap is. Okay, what's going on now? Dung Defender! This place really is full of white crap. You're sick, you know that? After getting over the initial shock of sloshing around in poo with every step I took, it dawned on me that this fight was kinda easy. It was a natural instinct of mine to avoid the dung. He was still vulnerable in his defensive form, and I'd make sure to heal up close by, releasing damaging spores. Doba this, you loudmouth! Unlike other bosses, he is not killed upon defeat, but is instead sentenced headfirst into the feces. Defender's crest obtained. Odorific. The Jolly Excrement Collector was protecting the water pump, which drained some of the poisonous water in the area. It may or may not have opened the way to challenge another boss. This threat is infecting the land in its own way by spawning eggs throughout the pipes. This should be a quick job. It's just a wormy cocoon. At the start of the battle, my initial impression of the Fluke Marm was valid. All they had to do was bounce on top of it, which conveniently was a great killing spot when other flukes swarmed up to me. Then things went awry really fast. I gotta get out of here. Swim, little knight. Swim! Your life depends on it! I'll be back. I attempted the bouncing again, but it became clear to me that this wasn't an effective long-term strategy. The constant bombardment of flukes was too much to handle. I gave it a few more tries. However, my demise was inevitable every time. I didn't have the tools yet to overcome something like this. The never-ending swarm was too much. I'll be back for it once I've progressed enough. In the meantime, I'll do some backtracking. Going back through fungal wastes made me realize that all of the mantises now respect me, allowing me safe passage going past them. Apparently, you can extract a total of 1 essence from lingering spirits. Wow, what a deal! The promotion doesn't end there either. Did you know the Fog Canyon has its very own bank? Yes, Millie Bell, I'd like to open an account. There, all of my money is safely stored now. Banks can always be trusted.
Why did you save me?
Hallownest needs to be saved even if they don't want to. And I'm gonna start actually doing something about it by going after one of the 3 dreamers. I thought I was heading into a big boss battle, but no, they're just chilling there dreaming. When I used the dream nail, I was taken again to that dream world. I found the dreamer floating without a care in the world as I struck at them. I killed them without hesitation, saw the spewing essence, then shifted to a focused position similar to how I heal. Absorbing their essence, the seal they represented had been broken. That got me thinking. I've passed a few graves in my adventures so far. Maybe I needed to use the dream nail on them too. Thus the backtracking continued. Except this grave dweller put up a fight before I extracted their soul. Rest your eyes as I execute the singer of this lullaby. This bout actually lingered for a good while. All you missed out on was a bunch of hopping to chase down the dream boss amidst adjacent flying spirits. Realizing I'm here to save Hallownest, the dream warrior asks me to send her to a place without dreams, and in return, shatters into 200 essence to help me in my journey. This brings up my total essence above the 300 mark, which prompts the seer to open a door nearby that was closed beforehand. It happens to be the entrance to Spirit's Glade, aka the location where most of the Kickstarter spirits can be found. Also known as free essence. Gimme, gimme! Nani? Retreat! Retreat! Dang, that night was quick. After healing, I went straight back into the glades to consume the other spirits. The knight on guard kept me on my toes, constantly threatening to take my life as long as I stayed here. Parries wouldn't get rid of him, but it'd make me last longer per trip. Back I went again and again until I had busted every ghost remaining.
All my friends are dead.
The seer had another gift, that being pale ore, which I could use to further sharpen my nail. The nailsmith needs to earn a living though, so let's go get my geo. Oh, Miss Millibelle, I'd like to make a withdrawal, please. Miss Millibelle, where's my money? What the freak is going on? Key. Where have I not been? A simple key's gotta be somewhere I haven't been to yet. What the flip? What happened to the crossroads? The infection must be spreading, but my money comes first before the environment. Hey look, that must be one of Mila's friends. That ain't the friendly miner I was expecting. Anywho, the key's gotta be this way. Oh wait, no, all of my progress, no!
Finally, a worthy opponent. Our battle will be legendary!
No, I do not have time for you. I don't know who you are and what makes you a dream warrior, but I got a simple key to find. Thanks for the 100 essence, though. It got me the dream wielder charm. Must keep going, must get money back. You got this, Andrew. Oh, thank gosh, a bench.
Hey, Manuel, you're on my bench. On my bench.
Are you for real right now? We're fighting over who can use the bench. I mean, is this really fair? You have an alien-like high-tech crystal mega blaster, and all I have is a nail. You literally have no excuse for losing. And by the way, these are supposed to be public property, you know. At long last, my money is within sight. Behold, the shopkeeper's key? Well, the good news is that shortly after, I acquired the crystal heart ability. Further into the crystal mines, I also found a snail shaman encased within a crystal. I accidentally killed the slug when I shattered the crystal, then was given the descending dark ability, a stronger desolate dive Hulk smash. Alright, that's all I could find in Crystal Peak. I'm gonna spelunk the ancient basin again. It's raining men! Hallelujah, it's raining men! Every specimen! Was that me? Uh-oh, this can't be good. Those orange little leech things are stuffing themselves inside the husk. Why am I just standing here? I can't stop them. It was no use. They zombified the corpse, starting a boss fight with the broken vessel. I thought I was gonna be facing another version of me, but that's not at all what this is. It's a leaping maniac. The plus side of it being like that is it gives me plenty of time to recoup myself before it can charge at me again. Later on, it did get annoying when infected balloons would spawn from it, and for some reason I never paid attention to them during my first attempt. I made sure to make a habit of disposing of them during my next bouts. Another thing to watch out for was the summoning of infectious blobs cascading about. Then it's back to old methods of heaving itself at me. Then I put them out of their misery. But brother. The infectious bulbs on the left wall pop off, where on the other side of it, I grow my monarch wings, baby. Oh wait, that means I have to backtrack everywhere again. Not only for hard to reach sections, but also for the dream worlds from fallen bosses. I didn't realize that there were even harder versions of them to face. Thankfully, if you die when facing their dream form, the punishment isn't that bad. No geo lost and no broken soul vessel. For now though, there's unfinished business that I need to take care of. That's right, baby. It's finally time to get revenge. It's about dang time. Hello, Miss Millibelle. Oh, what's wrong? Why are you sweating? You had it coming to you, and I'm taking interest too. Nail upgrade, please. And Sly, here's the shopkeeper's key. I'll buy everything.
Who are you, Mr. Beast?
You ever had so much money that you could just throw over 3 grand into a wishing fountain? Yeah. Me neither. With the banker defunded, it's time to finish what I started with the lost kin. So what makes this guy different from its physical form? Simply, they're faster with everything they do. This corpse has no chill, and it can be hard to squeeze in hits, since there's no time to get rid of the balloons then attack the boss. Of course, after plenty of trial and error, I was able to learn how to best maneuver myself. The true test seemed to be endurance. How long could I keep doing this? The guy just wouldn't die. That responsibility fell on my shoulders. Too much if you ask me. I changed my mind. The orange bubbles are the biggest pain, not its max HP. Clearly, something needed to change. Since I'm technically not dying when I lose, I wonder if the fragile strength charm would break upon defeat. Well, I need strength, and there's only one way to find out. Will the fragile charm break?
I guess we'll never know.
Equipping the Stinky Defender and Spore Charms to lighten the tension from the bubbles was a great call too. I won on my first try with them. Geez, I should have changed charms a long time ago. The next chapter of my story took me to the palace grounds east of the lost kin enemy I had just faced. There, I found a corpse whose soul I couldn't break. So, never mind. City of Tears with Monarch Wings is my next chapter. And what does that lead to? More of those freaking orange infectious whatchamacallits that take over the bodies of guards that passed away. Now, I gotta admit, looking back at this fight, I don't know why it was such a struggle for me. When I got to the Godmaster content, these guys were a piece of cake. Even with my lack of experience, when facing only one of them, you could see their moves coming from a mile away. Then a second one would join the fray, and that's where things got complicated during the first go-around. I was way too focused on healing. My mind must have been stuck on surviving above all else, because it's not just the first 2 I needed to beat, there's a total of 6 of them. Please pardon me from going into much detail about my losses. I just really don't understand why this was such a hurdle for me. So let's skip ahead 40 minutes. Yes, I said 40 minutes. To watch how I beat the Watchers. First one, easy peasy. If I was fast enough, I could take down the first of the 6 before the second was even revived. Oh, I just realized why these nights were much easier later. See how I have nowhere to jump past them at this moment? Yeah, there's a future ability that makes this a ton easier. So I take it back. The Watcher nights are hard. Anyways, for nights number 2 and 3, I kept my distance when needed with the occasional pokes here and there. Ah, ha, 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 staying alive, staying alive. 2 minutes into the battle, number 2 was defeated. 15 seconds later, number 3 died slowly while inhaling my unbearable odor. Number 4 was dealt with the same way as their predecessors were. It all just depended on me living long enough to tell the tale. When it came down to the last 2, I was fortunate enough to take both of their lives at the same time. I had finally defeated the Watchers, elevating my access to the City of Tears to greater heights than before. Let's take in the view through this telescope.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
Focus, my little knight. We are here for the dreamer. Take it all in, little guy. There is only one left that remains. One more seal to break. And our time in the city is not over yet. During my last shopping spree, I received an elegant key from Sly, unlocking another room within the... You again? You know I have the power to kill with farts now, right? So go die. My ranged combat gets only better because this device right here fills me with what was left of that snail shaman linked to the machine, upgrading Vengeful Spirit into the more powerful Shade Soul. We can finally set foot out of the city now and use the Crystal Heart to explore new parts of Greenpath. I'm getting too old for this. Then I remembered, oh yeah, I have wings. Nail Master Oro? You have another home? No, you idiot. I am his brother, Shio. I don't care, just teach me your ways. Well, this is different. He's using a paintbrush. Is he gonna teach me some epic Mickey technique? Oh, he painted me a picture. Thanks, I guess? Somehow that taught me great slash. I'm not gonna question it. Nonetheless, it was back on the road again to find where I needed to go next. I checked in with the seer again to obtain another vessel fragment, and the Dream Gate will let me set up my own warp point. I continued to backtrack in Fog Canyon, where I found a new place that contained a hidden ability called Howling Wraith. Then in Crystal Peak, I used my wings to reach what I couldn't before and walked right into a trap. The bench hogger was back, but was more enraged with more detrimental attacks. The lasers inflicted 2 damage when before they only inflicted 1. Even his hops were that destructive. At least my suffering ended with a quick death. Luckily, the bench we fought over was right under where the rematch was taking place. A couple attempts later, I learned to be more careful and learned the timing of the Guardian's attacks. When lasers flooded the room, I prioritized my safety. So it really wasn't bad, all things considered. That's another mask life. But there still was more to see in Crystal Peak, and it was getting crazy. The miners even had laser beams now. As crazy as it got, it was well worth it. I got to see more mystic places, found more pale lore, used it to strengthen my nail, and Silksong? I was just climbing down the depths below the Coliseum. I wasn't expecting you nor a delay announcement. Oh, and we're having a rematch? The surprises never end. This is also a good opportunity to flex my new great slash attack. Was that a counter? What are you, a Fire Emblem character? My turn. And what's with these threaded spike balls? That's it. You leave me no choice. So strong. I gotta get out of here! Now, what was it she didn't want me to see? Marked by King's brand? Ah, crap. Booby traps. I need to escape. The debris is slowing me down. Come on, Crystal Hearts, come on! It's no use. Silksong? Did you just save me? She must want me to use that King's brand mark somewhere. How about here? Nothing. Nope. Ah, there it is. The dead end at the bottom of the ancient basin has been opened. This game is slowly becoming Journey to the Center of the Earth. As I descend, I make sure to take note of anything I may need to come back to. At the bottom are a countless amount of bones haunted by ghosts, demonic pits, and many, many more ghosts. Hopefully this switch will do something about them. Okay. A light? What's that going to do? Oh, hold up. All of the ghosts are gone. The demonic limbs are gone from the water too. Well, most of them. At the end of the tunnel is an altar fountain thingy. And that's how I got the Shade Cloak, the ability that allows you to dash through enemies without being harmed, then goes on a small cooldown. If only I had this during the Watcher Knight Silksong? She claims this is my place of birth and that we share the same father, making us half siblings. That's cool, but what about this empty room? I'll figure it out later. I'm gonna backtrack in the fungal wastes. After finding those 2 items, I challenged the Dream Warrior Galleon. This guy ain't no warrior though. All he does is float there while his scythe does all the legwork. He's like that casual that plays Super Smash Bros. With items. It's blasphemous that he calls himself the strongest warrior in Hallownest. I was done with fungal waste for now and decided to climb the Howling Cliffs next. There's not a whole lot here. However, there is Mato, the 3rd Nail Master. I could have gotten here much sooner, but for some reason I didn't go north of Greenpath for whatever reason. Cyclone Slash definitely feels like early game tech. That's on me though. Momentarily, I was forgiven by Johnny Bravo himself and was given his blessing in the form of a charm. Another ancient grave, another Dream Warrior, and it was incredibly easy. Like, I don't even know what to narrate about this battle. Just watch me kill them. Later, I went back to Dirtmouth to spend my Geo. But where was Sly? Apparently, he has a basement. And get this, he was actually the master of the 3 Nail Masters. As a reward for mastering each of their arts, he bestows me the Nail Master's Glory Charm. I've been backtracking for some time now, and like it or not, it ain't over yet. In the royal waterways, I plucked Isma's tear from a corpse in a hidden grove. This gave me immunity to acidic waters that plague Hallownest. Every kid's dream, am I right? You know what I think it's time for? Rematch with the Fluke Marm. With a stronger nail and the great slash, I shouldn't need to survive as long to win. In fact, I should have probably brought the spores the first time around. It was like being surrounded by pest control while I slayed the mother. Battle didn't even last a minute. I'm curious to see what their charm does. My Shade Soul is replaced with an oversized maggot? No thanks. The theme for charms like that continued in the crossroads when I picked up the glowing womb. Up next, swimming time in fungal wastes, where I run by Query outside of Dreamer's archives. According to the map, the last seal was inside this jellyfish-filled place. Eventually, I butted heads with their leader, Umu. This massive sea jelly had the powers of static shock and could fill the room with bursts of lightning. I felt like I was being experimented on by Jimmy Neutron.
That last batch was delicious. Also incredibly painful.
To make matters worse, I couldn't pierce its skin. Query, what are you doing? Oh, nice! You are welcome anytime, my friend. I'll be ready next time. What I need is speed for my feet, more dashes, and Nailmaster's art to charge my nail arts faster. Now here's the plan. Run! I need to do whatever it takes to survive until Query arrives. My man! Charge slash! Query, stop messing around. Can't you see my life is in peril? There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Give me one more, man. That's all I need. Yes! Go back to the sea where you belong. Beat it on my second try. Not bad. We made a great team, huh, bud? Focused, Query was contemplating his role in life. He felt called here similar to how I was. He explained how this dreamer became a seal to protect Hallownest, and that he was part of the process, but has no memory of it. The dreamer called him back to reverse the seal by aiding me. He uses his mask to reveal the embodiment of the dreamer, to which I then strike her with my dream nail, breaking the seal to the Temple of the Black Egg. I should probably go straight there, but I'm gonna take my time on my way over. Hey, Cloth, still trying to build up that courage, huh? If only you could help me with these spiky sections. And what's with these mantises not following the code of respect? I'm taking your love key for not complying with the Mantis Lords. On a side note, I've stopped covering every stag, bench, and route for a while now to avoid being repetitive. However, this station was different. Yes, this stag is the last of its kind, but he happily shares with me that he found his nest. So off we went. This was indeed his birthplace, as you can see with the land being littered with late relatives. Two pieces of good news though. First, the very last vessel fragment was here, meaning I've now maxed out my soul gauge. And secondly, there's a freshly hatched egg. Maybe our stag buddy won't be alone forever. Now let's get back into the swing of things in Greenpath by facing this puss moth caterpillar. Let's be honest with ourselves. This isn't a boss fight. This is a racquetball match.
15 love, 30 love, match point. The front team wins.
After my workout, I went to work in the city, where I was able to use the love key. Past the locked door were a multitude of bugs trapped in jars, some dead, some alive. Who in the world would have such an odd obsession? Behold, the Collector. Except this version of the Collector is a lot more jolly, giggling with every hop it takes. And it's not just them you're up against, the imprisoned bugs are against you too. Why are they fighting for the Collector? They should be using this chance to escape. It's no use, they don't seem to care. And when the Collector kills you, your shade is taken prisoner like the others. What a menace. I'll take care of it this time. On my second attempt, I fell back on the odor strategy. While I took care of myself and slaughtered the bugs, the Collector would take residual damage from the spores and stench. Top that off with me now knowing the enemy's moveset made for a much more blissful turn of events, resulting in my victory. In the attic, I discovered the kidnapper was taking in grubs as well. Man was probably shiny hunting for a caterpie. This must have been the case because they had an entire map marked with every single imprisoned caterpie. How are the rescued little buggers doing anyways? Dang, more money rewards? You shouldn't have. That's not all. They gave me a mask piece and the grub song charm. Now, what should I do with over 5,000 geo? I know, risk it all at the infected temple of the Black Egg. Inside, the entrance into the Black Egg shatters since the 3 seals are no longer active. A scream is then heard, signaling there's a threat enclosed. Without a moment's hesitation, I start breaking the chains that are tying down the bigger-looking me. The large knight stares at me throughout the process, readying themselves for what's to come. Freed, they fall to the ground, regain their composure, then let out another scream, revealing themselves to be the true Hollow Knight. You're kidding me! I thought I was the Hollow Knight! There's no time to dwell on that realization right now. I need to observe its fighting patterns. They tend to strike horizontally most of the time, and their teleportation is not to be slept on. Upon rematch, I deciphered that the Hollow Knight keeps to the ground most of the time, leaving me opportunities to attack from above. That is, when I actually pogo correctly. I then learned a couple new moves it had, including summoning flame pillars and launching infectious blobs. After beating it down some more, the Hollow Knight stabs itself. Are they in pain? Is the infection making them act this way? Oh no, they've been infected with the Fire Emblem counter, and now the actual infection is spewing all over the place. Alright, I think I'm ready. Third try, here I come. And I'm off to a bad start. These pogo hops when I stab at the Hollow Knight's head should be a breeze. I need a reset. So once I smack the Hollow Knight enough into a staggering position, I heal up 3 lives. And I'm still choking. Why am I fighting with such little tact? I'll just keep doing what I'm doing because I'm already in the second phase.
How are you not dead?
I have no idea!
If this guy inflicted 2 damage with each swing, I'd be toast. I've been able to heal so much this round thanks to the Balder Shield. The spores are a great addition too. And look at these dodging skills. The Hollow Knight's infection looks to be taking over, trying to slam me. But I'm finally getting the groove of bouncing atop them with my nail, then retreating. The slamming continued, and I used those moments to unleash great slash attacks. I was finally fighting like the competent knight that I was destined to be. Now I must put the Hollow Knight out of its misery. It was over. With the Hollow Knight gone, a new vessel was needed to seal the infection. That responsibility fell on my shoulders. The Black Egg was my new home. I mean, it would have been if save states didn't exist. I still got 37% left to go along with the other endings. So let's keep navigating Hallownest to pursue the second ending. Then we'll 112% the game after that. After all of this time, I just now realized that the Shade Cloak can dash through these shadow gates, which means I'm gonna have to backtrack everywhere again. For now, I'm gonna teach these disrespectful mantises a lesson. Cloth, are you joining me in battle? Let's go! We slayed every one of them that stood against us. Then their leader showed up, the traitor lord. Ah, so you're the one who led these people astray. Let's get him, Cloth. Holy smokes, this guy chips off 2 lives with every attack? I'm not going to underestimate him this time. It didn't take long to deduce that being in the air was the best spot to attack. That is, as long as they've already begun to strike, since they do have a chance to start their assault with a jump. Still, the Traitor Lord kept me on my toes with surprise shockwaves. The Shade Cloak made that issue non-existent. Cloth was a great teammate too, bonking the traitor with her club while I evaded his projectiles. Cloth, are you okay? I'm coming! Cloth, get out of there! He's gonna blow! No! Cloth, no! Wake up, you coward! You were supposed to run from battle! Where did that bravery come from? It should have been me. What was that stupid mantis protecting that was so important? A white lady? Cloth died to save a white person? And all she gives me is half of a mask? You moron! You think that can replace her? Hold up. Cloth is alive in spirit? And she's not sad she died. She loved the thrill of the battle. It was everything she had hoped for. Oh, well, if you feel that way then. Thanks for the essence. Next Shadowgate was down in Kingdom's Edge. Dash, 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 dash. Sharp Shadow Charm obtained. Another Shadowgate, another Dream Warrior boss. This one's got 2 dream shields of his own and even his own nails that he shoots out every second or so. I was very sloppy during this battle, but I still ended up winning on my first try. Unsure where to go next, I decide to gather the grub in Kingdom's Edge. While looking for the first Caterpie, I noticed some cracks in this wall. How do I break through though? Yeah! No! About time I figured that out. I thought I was done finding new areas, but the hive was a sweet surprise. Not this abomination though. I wish I never laid eyes on its hideousness. Aside from that, you got your bees that shapeshift into drills. No, I'm not kidding. And you got your big boys. Why do all of these bees want to kill me? Is it because I didn't bring a house swarming gift? You know what? I think this is the perfect place to include sound bites from Ken, who starred in the Bee movie. What's that?
Italian Vogue.
Mamma mia, that's a lot of pages.
It's a lot of ads.
Remember what Van said. Why is your life any more valuable than mine?
That's funny, I just can't seem to recall that. Oh!
Hey, look at me, I'm wearing a chapstick hat. This is pathetic.
I've got issues!
Surf's up, dude.
Pool water!
A quick serious note, I managed my way throughout this battle by focusing on Hive Knight's attacks rather than my own.
Why is Yogurt Night so difficult?
It was nice knowing you, Ken. I nabbed the Hive Blood Charm, rescued the 2 Caterpies, received Pale Ore as a reward, then reported back to the Seer all the essence I had found, which awakened the Dream Nail that can break into even the most protected mind. Wait, does that mean? Yes! I have arrived somewhere in the Dream Realm. Is this the higher being Hornet spoke of who we call Father? Nah, the game wouldn't let us kill him that easily. Although this could very well be Father's White Palace. Oh, hold up. Was the White Lady my mom? I used her for a race joke. Nonetheless, I blindly pressed forward, even met some higher-ups. However, I think Hallownest is no longer in need of these elite scum. Little did I know, the soul I gained from their deaths would be a key part to my progression. The White Palace has become a series of platforming sections. What's ironic about me playing this game is that I'm generally not a fan of Metroidvanias. Hollow Knight is a rare exception. What I'm always down for though is a good platformer, and Celeste happens to be my favorite Nintendo Switch game. So I welcomed this challenge. After the first segment, the idea entered my mind to equip the Hive Blood Charm. With it, I practically had an unlimited amount of lives, as long as I was patient enough to wait for them to heal. This meant I would never have to start over from the very beginning, since I would never die. I could experiment with my knight's tools without the pressure of failing. Now don't get me wrong, the difficulty still exists. I felt like the first 2 areas were just preparing me for what was up ahead. Like, what are these armored gnats here for other than to frustrate you? That's what I love about platformers. What seems to be a pain in the neck at first, later becomes nothing more than an afterthought with some practice. Then the doubt starts creeping back in. Maybe I got overconfident. Maybe I can't platform like I used to. Maybe I'm getting old. This shouldn't be hard for me. What is wrong with me? Why can't I do this? How much failure until I'm ready? When do I know I am the Hollow Knight?
You won't. That's all it is, Miles. A leap of faith.
Like, what's up, danger? Can't stop me now. Travel 200 miles, I'm knocking at your door. And I don't really care if you ain't got.
Had to stop right there for copyright reasons. Now who's this dead king? Looks pretty pale. Wait, did I just strike at my father's dead body? He's not alive to care anyways. And I got the second half of the mask completing the King's Soul Charm. Too bad it takes up all of my notches. Now what do I do? I'm near the abyss, so I guess I can see if there's anything new there. Blue butterflies are here. I'll take note of that. Okay, that's cool, but what is in this empty room? I looked it up because I knew I'd eventually have to backtrack here again. And this is part of the reason I'm not into Metroidvanias. I have a limit of how much I'm willing to wander around until I notice a pattern in the background or come across some lore I might have skipped. I never would have consumed the Abyss Shriek or ground pounded here while having King Soul equipped unless I wasted hours of my life. If you enjoy it though, that's great. As long as we're all having fun, let's enjoy this masterpiece together. Now what to do with this mirror? You shall seal the binding light that plagues their dreams. You are the vessel. You are the Hollow Knight. Ah, yeah, I am the legit Hollow Knight. And this King Soul turned Void Heart Charm is what we need for the other endings. But first, I'm gonna focus a bit more on completion. Come here, you little caterpie. That smell. I'll kill you for it. Whoa, whoa, take it easy. Get it off. Get it off of me. It was actually some demonic little fake. Here's the real one. You know what? If I was playing Pokemon, I'd be naming each Caterpie. Let's start with this guy. Albert, Stinger, Derpy, Mothra, Monarch, Francis, Coraline, Scarlet, Green Bean, what the fuck? Wiener, Marcus, Roy, Felipe. I did that all for the Sword Beam Charm, Grubberfly's Elegy. There was one incident I skipped so the Caterpie rap wouldn't be interrupted. That was when I found myself. Oh, never mind. That is definitely not me. And it looks like I'm not the first vessel to be hunted by it either. Not gonna lie, I was slightly annoyed I ran into a boss while saving Caterpies. At the same time, my stubbornness wouldn't let me leave without beating it first. I thought this would be a quick win given all the upgrades I've accumulated. Turns out that was totally not the case, and I needed to actually pay attention. Here's how it went down. Hop and smack. Walk beneath its jump so I can heal. Watch out for the falling blobs, then rinse and repeat until victorious. Tedious, but now it's off the checklist. I'm gonna need to breeze through the next few. Looks like we got another orange smoker here. Sonic, can you help me out?
It's bad for your health, and it stains your teeth, so don't be a fool. Smoking isn't cool.
Thanks, Sonic. From breaking bad habits to breaking bad ceilings, I enter the home of the Gray Mourner. Something you probably would never guess is that they are mourning. Specifically, that the love of their life is dead and buried far away in Queen's Garden. I am then asked to help pay respects by delivering a delicate flower to the grave. This very fragile flower is destroyed when any damage is taken or when using a shortcut like the Stag or Dream Gate. I had to start over a few times. During one of my attempted deliveries, I stumbled upon a shop run by the charm lover Salbura. I bought the following 5 charms, which also increased my completion percentage by 5%. Oh, and she sold me 4 charm notches. Man, I wish I got these earlier. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, I need to focus on delivering this flower. I equipped the charm the grubs gave me to beam attack enemies from a safe distance, got through Green Path, made sure not to explode any large jellyfish in Fog Canyon, and made it past the spikes in Queen's Garden, successfully finishing the delicate flower quest. Peace is brought to the Gray Mourner, and another mask shard is mine. Now to research pinned locations I've yet to visit. I'm pretty sure this area was supposed to be found in the early game, because this brooding Molek was extremely easy. All it did was swing its claw to the side and spit out bacteria. Just over 30 seconds later, the battle was won, and a mask shard was gained. I stayed in the crossroads, continuing to set foot everywhere I hadn't been yet, which is a little unorthodox looking back on it, since it is the first region. But who cares? I've now obtained every mask in the game. Looking over my notes, I still had an unsolved mystery in the Abyss. Since blue butterflies were on the scene, I pinned on both charms that replaced my life bar with the extra lives, and voila, it worked. Another gate is opened, another extra life related charm is looted, and I think it's about time to challenge the other 2 Colosseum trials. Zote? You got captured again?
I'm sick of being social engineered. It's not funny!
Whatever you say, old geezer. I've got a crowd to entertain. There's not much to say about the second trial since I'm back with upgraded spells, upgraded abilities, maxed out life, maxed out soul, and a nearly complete set of charms. Also, I'm much more mentally prepared knowing how long this thing can go. Before taking on the third trial, I flew downtown to use my recently won Pale Ore to have the nailsmith craft my weapon to perfection. With the pure nail forged, his only remaining desire in life was to be struck down by his creation. I beg of you, cut me down. No.
You know what happens to a butter-based frosting in a poorly ventilated English basement?
I guess I hadn't.
Well, I have a feeling what you are about to go through is punishment enough. Dismissed.
With my blade at peak performance, I was ready to blow through the final trial. Ah, freak, they're back. I hate these things. Aside from those, things were going just fine. The bad guys were blowing up themselves, new insects that jumped slowly were easy to extinguish, then the boomerang-throwing mantises came out to play. I don't know what it was, they just threw me off my groove. On my second attempt, I didn't mess around with them by promptly clipping their wings before the boomerangs got out of hand. Then some familiar faces showed up. Wizards like the Voltage Godmaster and spellcasters were actually no longer a headache since my nail could now defeat them in 2 hits. Molex, Brooding Molex, and Garpeets tried to make me say, oh my, but it was the armored flies with spikes on the ground that caused me to meet my demise. Third attempt ended the same way. Something about there being no floor was throwing me off. I didn't really change anything about my strategy and just went at it until I finally had a good run during that part. I made it alive on the brink of death, but was confident in my abilities to survive when the platforms came back. And that's exactly what happened. I slaughtered the rest of them. The trial was not over yet, though. There remained one gladiator, one known as the God Tamer, a warrior so fierce that even the beasts obey them. How would I overcome this 2 versus 1 clash? I'll cut to the chase. This was probably one of the easiest moments during the last trial. The Tamer themselves didn't pose much of a threat, and with the beast alone now, it was just a matter of time before I was crowned champion. Having pleased the crowd in the Colosseum, only 15% remained. To further my progression, I simply retraced my steps throughout Hallownest. Like Elder Who, for example. I don't know why I never came back to Dreamnail his grave. I've seen this grave before, just never came back to it until now. As for the fight itself, all of Elder Who's arsenal was avoidable with the Shade Cloak. That's another % done, along with a good chunk of essence that I'll need for my next task. The seer has asked me to gather 2,400 essence, and the best way to do that is by revisiting the locations of past fallen bosses. Somewhere near where the battle was fought should be their body ready to be dream-nailed. Upon doing so, takes me to the Dream Realm, initiating a rematch with the boss's dream form. Similar to when I faced the Broken Vessel, then the Lost Kin. Yes, they're more difficult than before, but the hundreds of essence you get for beating them is well worth it. To speed up the process, I cherry-picked the ones I had the least difficult time during my first encounter with them. Bada bing, bada boom, the work is done. I acquired the essence, reported back to the seer, and listened to her last words, remembering her creator, the Radiance. Then she dissipates. As I pondered her ascension, I break yet another flimsy wall and collect a charm, attaining 100% completion. Now let's go get that true ending. With all of my experience, extra lives, new charms, etc., the Hollow Knight is very beatable with a little effort. What the? Silksong? Thanks for holding him down, sis. I'll kill sis, you monster! You'll pay for that. Take this! Infection! Come to me. Hornet laid in the room unconscious. It was an unfortunate turn of events, as she will now be trapped inside the black egg alongside me, with the shape of her head appearing as the seal. But that's not how it really ended. Silksong, pin him down, sis! Time to find out who's really behind all of this. Alright, who's messing with his head? It's the Radiance the seer spoke of. If we vanquish it, Hallownest may be saved. Holy crap! 2 damage? I ain't falling for that again. You got swords too? Forget about it. A moving wall of light? Okay, you got me there. Come on, heal, heal, heal! Ah! God! I've been defeated. Well, that's freaking hard. And you're telling me I have to fight the Hollow Knight every time I want to face Radiance again? Ay, ay, ay. I don't know whether to be delighted about Radiance's difficulty or if I should complain. On one hand, I'm glad the true final boss is as epic as all get out. On the other hand, this is freaking hard. I'm gonna need to change to a strategy I haven't executed once in my playthrough. My charms needed to be spell-focused. First, I equip Quick Focus to speed up my heals. Second, Grub Song, to gain soul when taking damage. Third, Soul Catcher, to increase the amount of soul gained. And fourth, the Shaman Stone, to strengthen my Abyss Shriek since Radiance is always floating right above me. Holy moths, it's already attempt number 9? Let's round up and go to the next one to share what I've learned so far. I've never had an issue with the swords falling downward, so I make sure to squeeze in some up airs and Abyss Shrieks during their descent. It's the flying horizontal swords I've had an issue with. I was no good at jumping through small gaps, so I dashed through them instead. Then I take a walk to the right to recharge the Shade Cloak, then dash through them again. The same applies to the Wall of Light. Later on, as I'm poking Radiance, spikes will appear on the left or the right. If the spikes are below Radiance, I completely turn off my offense and just wait until a better opportunity comes to strike again. I love when it beam attacks because that's when I can get in some free hits or heal if I need to. Eventually, the spikes will stay on the outer edges while Radiance sticks around in the middle hauling down swords. I still slip up due to the immense feeling of pressure, but ultimately it's very doable once I calm my nerves. I occasionally even pull off a few heals, although I don't recommend it during this part. And don't get too comfortable yet. Radiance may be down, but this is far from over. Shadow tentacles from beneath arise and squeeze until Radiance makes an escape. Now I gotta do it all over again except on platforms. And Radiance can teleport wherever they want. No explanation is needed on why this is a problem, right? Trying to chase it down is nearly impossible to do without dying. It only takes me until attempt number 14 to get to that phase again. How about instead of chasing Radiance, I just pitch a tent on the bottom platform and wait. Then jab, wait, then shriek, wait again, and shriek. Wait, then throw the plan out the window and kill myself trying. Wait, what? Okay, what really happened there was I damaged Radiance enough for them to retreat upwards. At this moment, platforms start disappearing and I have to climb up the ones that are left to make the finishing move. Come on, Andrew. Breathe. You always forget to breathe. Just take your time. Take it nice and slowly. You're doing great. Look out for the beam. Oh, it's okay. No need to freak out. Let's heal. Oh, no, what happened? I have to restart from the bottom? Calm down. It's not over. Let's try again. Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Stop saying that!
Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die! It's over. The Radiance has been stopped. The infection is purged, and Hornet lives to tell the tale. I, however, did not make it. But let's hope Hallownest is now a better place. Now back to where it all began. King's Pass. Why, you may ask? Well, I want to know why there's this area right next to me in this part of the map, yet I seemed walled off from it. Aha! A secret passage. My plan for the last 12% of this game is to first find the charms, then I'll start the DLC's story. Speaking of which, the Fury of the Fallen has been obtained. I whip out the map once again looking for anomalies like this seemingly incomplete connecting route of Crystal Peak. Turns out, there was indeed nothing there. But this miner made me accidentally swing at the wall, revealing a secret entrance, leading me to the deep focus charm. Next stop is going to be the Lake of Un, because I don't remember anything happening over there. Oh, that's right. I never came back here after becoming immune to acidic waters. There doesn't seem to be anything too special here.
Oh my goodness!
Wait. Who are you? Where'd you go off to? I never got to tell you. I'm in love with the shape of Un. Oh, I, oh, I, oh, I, oh, I. Anyways, I just realized I've had this button pinned since my last video. Ugh, these things again? Shut up and let me pass. What are you hiding in Weaver's Den? Soon after, it became apparent that I didn't have the capability to launch myself here before. And now I'm back to grab the Weaver Song Charm. That's 104% done. That means we're almost done with the video, right? Right? I'm sure there's nothing to worry about. In fact, I'm going to check in with my grub friends to see if they know where the Grim Troop is. Where is everybody? You ate them all? You'll pay for this, you sick son of a gun! Talk about a dreary start to our next adventure. The beginning of the Grim Troop's quest can actually be found here in the Howling Cliffs, with this large bug corpse. After dream nailing the dead insect, a bundle of reddish coals appears nearby. Striking at the rocks sends sparks flying, igniting the surrounding torches. The chamber shakes and rocks crumble from the ceiling, signaling the circus has come to Dirtmouth. Inside the main tent was an accordion player,
Babala Geno,
and the master of the carnival himself, Grim. Since I lit the lantern that summoned his troop, I supposedly have a part to play in their ritual. He gives me the Grim Child charm, then asks me to gather the flames from his kin. Not only that, I have to bring along the Grim Kid to know where I'm going.
Always the babysitter. Always the babysitter.
So here's the deal. I have to hunt down 3 flame holders, then report back to Grim. I find it odd that he wants me to kill his family, but asking nicely is overrated. And just like any extended family, these guys can be annoying to chase after. Playing the waiting game, then going in for the attack seems to work best. And if I charge up a great slash beforehand, it's game over for them. Flame consumed. I repeat the process at 2 other locations. Find the kin, kill the kin, and consume their flames. Here you go, Grim. Oh, so they're not for Grim. They're for the child. Well, I guess that means it's time to hunt down the chubby uncles. It's more or less the same as the other kin, except they spray more fire. Once again, I go track the other 2 at separate points in Hallownest, then report back to Grim. This time, he doesn't give the child back. Instead, he snaps his fingers, which turns on the lights, revealing a crowd awaiting entertainment. Thus, we begin our duel. It's my first go around with him, so the goal isn't necessarily to win, but to learn Grim's patterns. First, he puffs up his cloak, then while floating, releases fireballs horizontally. The bulk of his attacks have a particular snappiness to them. One after another, they keep coming. Fire bats from his cloak, spikes shoot up from the ground, dive attacks, and lunges. Trying to land an attack on him while he's performing his aristocratic acrobatics was definitely doing more harm than good. It became clear what the strategy needed to be. I needed to prioritize dodging everything, absolutely every move he threw at me except for 2 of his behaviors. The only time I would allow myself to go in for the attack was when he summoned his fire bats, since he would leave himself vulnerable when doing so after I leapt over them. The other behavior I would take advantage of was his spikes. I'd simply pull off a quick heal or 2 during it. Then it was back to the dodging. If he started on the ground, that meant he would swipe before launching into the air with an uppercut, which was then followed by falling fire. Contrast that to him first appearing airborne, where he dives then dashes. Focusing on evasion during these assaults may have made the battle go on longer, but for me, it was the right choice and I kept living because of it. Slowly, I was making progress. Every mistake was followed by a fast recovery thanks to the quick focus charm. With these methods executed properly, it was time to put an end to the circus act. No one died because this was all just for show, but at least the crowd showed their appreciation through their applause. The Grim child has grown even more, having been strengthened by our performance, and this is all Grim has to say to me. Really? At least he gave me a charm notch for winning. But man, I gotta go gather more flames. You all know the drill at this point. The new flame wielders have a couple new tricks up their sleeves. And so does my Grim child. That's 1 down. That's 2 down. That's 3. Wait, you're not a Grimkin. You're the accordion player. Before handing over the flame, Brum, the accordionist, explains how their troop are slaves to the repeating ritual, as is the Grim child too. He feeds the flame to my companion, then says the following. If you wish to silence the endless song, meet me where it began. Should I help Brum betray his master, or should I keep the show going as planned? While I think about it, there's another tent I haven't visited yet that houses that plum maggot divine. Ah, that charm. Beautiful, most precious. My precious.
Precious.
Give fragile heart charm? Knock yourself out. I never use it. She ate my charm? Give them to me. Your Geo. Give me your Geo and I'll give you a gift. 12,000 Geo?
Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind?
There's only one person I know that has that kind of dough.
They took all my money. All of it.
Here you go, Tina, you fat lard. I think I've made my decision. Brum, let's burn this ritual to the ground. The Grim troop was banished from Hallownest. We did it, Brum!
Segonala!
Hold up, is this Brum? He seems to have lost his memory and is unsure why he's here. Well, he seems happier now and he gives me the carefree melody charm to commemorate our new friendship. The last chapter of the Hollow Knight's journey was upon us. To access the high heavenly content that the Godmaster really is, I needed to dive deep below the royal waterways into the junk pit where a cocoon was chained with a simple lock. which meant I needed to go back to the Colosseum. Not for a trial per se, rather to go around the arena to crack open a breakable wall that leads to a secret area.
Precious!
Hey, get back here! You can't make a Gollum reference! It's already been done in this video! My gosh, can you not stand still for 1 freaking second? And where did you get these portable spikes that expand when thrown? Stop freaking out and let me kill you!
Burrowed underground!
You leave me no choice. It's time for my sneak attack! Aha! Ha! Die, Smeagol. Geez, what a hassle that was for a simple key. Whatever, it's sarcophagus time. You dropped this. They're not responding, so I go pick up the God Tuner, an item that grants me access to a very special place within the Godseeker's mind. Blasphemy? I didn't say anything sacrilegious. They couldn't stop me. I had entered the God Home. Just past the other Godseekers was the atrium that contained the dreaded Pantheons. 4 series of boss rush challenges that I needed to attain that coveted 112% status. There were other rooms as well, including the Hall of Gods, but for this video, I'll be solely focused on only what is required. First, with the Pantheon of the Master. Starting off with the Vengeful King, I get the inkling I'll be facing some of the early bosses during this set. Easy enough. Hop and down air. Gru's mother is next. Don't be an idiot, and she's done for. The False Knight doesn't even get to pull off an attack before I knock him out. Massive Moss Charger can be avoided easily, and this is Hornet in her first form, essentially a free win. Halfway there brings me into a resting room where I can fully recover my health and soul before continuing the second half of the challenge. Let's carry on. Gorb is Gorb. Need I say more? Then there's this load of crap. Shut up! The Soul Warrior goes for the same dive attack over and over again.
Will you all stop moving around? So frustrating!
And the Brooding Moloch gets a lucky shot before I slice them open. Before the Master Pantheon's finale, I am confronted by the Godseeker who clearly states their disapproval of me being here, hoping the gods will punish, obliterate, and destroy me. I hate to break it to you, but I'm pretty sure Nail Masters Oro and Mato aren't gods.
You're not a god? You lied to me?
However, of course, right after I claim they're not gods, I get pummeled by the duo. I had never fought them before, and I didn't know what to expect. Biggest lesson I learned was to not try to heal against them both. So yeah, I lost to them. Actually, at the start of this battle, Oro fights alone. It's not a big deal because he telegraphs all of his attacks before lunging at you. It's when both of the brothers get involved is when the difficulty spikes. They get me really good when I'm cornered against this wall, which forces me to retreat to the other side. Once I had the space I needed, I could evade their individual strikes since they would tend to not go right after the other. It was only my second attempt, so I still almost died, but once I was able to best one of them, it was easy to find moments to heal. Not long later, both of the brothers had been defeated, finishing the first Pantheon. 3 to go. Now to enter the Pantheon of the Artist. Zero's difficulty was a 0. The Crystal Guardian had no bench to fight for. The Soul Master had his own way of dive attacking compared to the Soul Warrior, and 2 Oblables were tedious to face at once, but like the Nail Masters, once the first went down, the second one was cake. The same applied to the Mantis Lords. Soon after, though, a regular boss would impede my progress. No, I'm not talking about Paddleball Marmu, I'm talking about Nosk. I remember being reckless with this guy during my 100% video. Since I was so far into the late game at that point, I barely put any effort and barely won just because I had the kit to do so. On a future attempt, I discovered Nosk's greatest weakness, ledge camping.
And then he's mixing up fastball versus drift. Good observation. Mucha King has a stock lead. We've seen this before. He's not going to engage.
Nosk was the only main hiccup I had during this trial until I learned that cheap tactic. Then Flukemarm and Broken Vessel were disposed of shortly after. The Godseeker lectures how I'll be punished, and the finale with Paintmaster Shio begins. This is going to become a common excuse for future Pantheon bosses, but I really don't know what to expect from this battle on my first try. It didn't seem too bad overall though. Just needed to learn Shio's patterns. And I haven't touched my charms since arriving in Godhome. So here's how it's going down from here. Fragile Strength, for, well, strength, and it doesn't break in Godhome. Quick Focus, well, for quick focuses. Sharp Shadow is low-key MVP, Nail Master's Glory for faster charge attacks, and Long Nail to increase range. As helpful as these charm changes were, it was paying attention to Shio's paintbrush that mattered most. When the paintbrush is purple, Shio unleashes a great slash that rains droplets right after. When yellow, it's a long-range attack. When blue, he performs a normal strike with flinging blobs. And when he leaps above center stage, he swipes red paint downward. After most attacks, I dash in with a sped up great slash, thanks to Nail Master's Glory. Sharp Shadow became a new favorite of mine since it inflicts damage anytime I dash through an enemy with Shade Cloak. So even if I didn't have the guts to attack, saving myself would actually whittle down their hit points as well. 2 down, 2 to go. Pantheon of the Sage, here I come. Ken from the B-movie, we meet again.
Match point! You can just start backing up, honey, because I believe you're about to eat it!
I lost to Hive Knight? I don't know how I lost to the first boss, but let's just forget it ever happened. Elder Who is considered difficult enough to be in the 3rd Pantheon? Do people really have a problem dodging this guy's springs? The Collector too? I would put both of these guys below Nosk, especially in terms of who's more frustrating to deal with. Anyways, I then lost to God Tamer, which I found odd because I beat her on my first try in the Coliseum. But maybe it's because I only fought them once that I wasn't ready for them in a boss rush mode. Nonetheless, I wasn't going to forget their moves again on succeeding attempts. However, this cycle of forgetfulness would repeat itself with Grim. What are you doing, Andrew? Don't attack when he does! You gotta wait for the fire bats, remember? Now on to Galleon, the item spammer. Get that cheat out of here. Umu is next. I just gotta wait for Quirrell to help out. Okay, Quirrell, anytime now. Other jellyfish are swarming in, and the electricity is more shocking than I'd like it to be.
Where are you?
I'm over here.
Oh yeah, Quirrell isn't around anymore. I guess I'll have to explode Umu with its own sea jellies, which can be difficult to pull off. Actually, no, it's not. Just shoot some Shade Soul and whoop-bam! Problem solved. Hornet? Been there, done that. You are painfully persistent. I'll take that as a compliment. Show me this Pantheon's last champion. Sly? You're coming out of retirement? Whoa, I'm gonna need some serious practice because I don't know what just happened. Instead of going through the Pantheon to get one practice round every 10 minutes or so, I entered the Hall of the Gods to face him head on. After much trial and error, I realized that I had only a very small window to squeeze in a single poke between attacks. Sometimes I'd barely miss the mark. Thus, a slight change in charms was needed to extend my range even further. As a result, I was landing my swings. More importantly, I was learning Sly's methods. He likes to slash twice, then spin attack in the air, then leaves himself open on the way down. Similar to Grim, that was the only time I went in for an attack. I purely focused on evading him during all of his other moves. I could only keep that up though until his last phase began. And boy was this a toughie. I don't even know how to describe this. He's darting around the room crazier than Master Yoda did. There's only a brief little window of opportunity to strike after he's done flipping with his nail, and it's hard to consistently land it while keeping yourself safe at the same time. I was able to win after 15 minutes of attempts, but unfortunately, that was in the Hall of Gods. Now I gotta beat him at the end of the Pantheon, which means I'll have lost my rhythm when facing him over and over again, especially when the gaps between rematches grow larger when I lose before I even get to him. Needless to say, it felt discouraging with each loss. I knew I could beat him though. I'd done it in the Hall of Gods once, so I could do it in the Pantheon once. 1, 2, spin attack, strike. 1, 2, spin attack, strike. Wait it out, wait it out, wait it out, strike.
You want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
I am one with the Force and the Force is with me. I am one with the Force and the Force is with me. I am one with the Force and the Force is with me. GG, Sly. The first 3 Pantheons have been beaten, which unlocks the last one needed to reach 112%, the Pantheon of the Night. This is gonna be tough. Made it to the finale on my first try. Maybe it's just my playstyle, but I thought that bunch was easier than the last Pantheon. Although, I gotta give kudos to Soul Tyrant for catching me off guard with the fake death. Despite that, the Godseeker is convinced the ruler of this Pantheon will silence me forever. Bring it on. Who is this god of gods you speak of? So, we meet again, brother. This time, there's no infection holding you back. Initially, I thought I was going to have a fighting chance against the pure vessel, but that's because I thought his moves were going to be similar to his original form. He freaking owned me! To the practice hall, little knight! Alright, I'm gonna train here just like I did with Sly. I spent the rest of the day in this hyperbolic chamber trying to figure out how in the world the pure vessel could be beaten. This battle broke me. Sure, there have been other times in this game where matters seemed hopeless, but only the pure vessel made me put down the controller and call it quits for the rest of the day. And not just that day, I began running through the whole 4th Pantheon during the next day and quit because I still couldn't win. Even if I could beat pure vessel, I'd feel so out of practice by the time I got to him because of the 9 brain-dead bosses I'd had to defeat beforehand each time. Then came day number 3, 1.5 hours into my gaming session, and I have had enough of this. Just as I swore this would be the end, I blunder into a terrible start. Get it together, Andrew! The soul pillar shouldn't be where you mess up. Whenever Pure Vessel posed in preparation for a sword fight, I learned from my hours of practice that pogo attacking from above was the best method. As for the rapid soul daggers, that's when I had to face danger head on and dash through them with Shade Soul to not only avoid them, but to land chip damage as well. The only time I would heal is when Pure Vessel was stunned, 2 masks at the max, and even that was too greedy at times. I wasn't feeling confident about this round either. I was making mistake after mistake. Heck, I was jumping constantly, sometimes forgetting to attack. I made it to the 2nd phase, but I just accepted at this point that I was gonna have to do the whole thing over again. One more blow, and I was a goner. Yet I risked it all for the pogo attacks. Oh, those tendrils. I can't tell you how many times I've died because of them. Hold up, am I cooking? Heal. Freaking heal! Run! Freaking run! Watch out for the aura! Stay away from the circles! Tendrils incoming! Overhead attack! He's going for it again! You fool! Now heal! Ah! I misclicked! I'm done for! It's over! I actually won when in the moment I thought I was doomed to lose. After awakening with my fellow siblings, I took a victory lap back to the Temple of the Black Egg, crushed the Hollow Knight in its weak, pathetic, infected form, and earned the Pure Completion Achievement. And that's how I 112%ed Hollow Knight. These kinds of videos take a long time to make, so if you want to help us keep making them, like the video and subscribe for more content. You all have a good one. Thanks.